afternoon and welcome to NTA Channel 12 News for the Deaf. I am Sheyi Ogunbayo. President Muhammadu Buhari has declared Nigeria's intention to completely eliminate the use of petrol and diesel generators by 2060 as part of its multi-pronged energy transition plan aimed at achieving energy security and net zero emission. A $10 billion investment, he however said, is needed per annum towards achieving the objectives and made a strong case for technical and financial support from the United States. This was as a high-level session on supporting conservation, climate adaptation, and the just energy transition as part of U.S.-Africa Leaders Summit in Washington, D.C. State House correspondent Adami Sambo reports.
With the theme, Building Our Green Future Together, the session attended by African and U.S. leaders as well as key stakeholders provided a forum for showcasing shared efforts towards conserving and restoring Africa's ecosystems as well as rich natural resources. Discussions also centered on diversifying the continent's energy matrix, realizing energy security goals, and building sustainable supply chains.
Africa will be at the center of the clean energy transition. Its renewable energy potential is second to none. It's home to roughly a third of all critical minerals essential to the technology that will power the clean energy economy. But with nearly half of sub-Saharan Africa's population lacking reliable access to electricity.
President Muhammadu Buhari, who addressed participants at the closed session, takes pride in the fact that Nigeria is the first African country to develop a detailed energy transition plan towards tackling both energy poverty and climate change, as well as delivering net zero emissions by 2060. Already, he said, the country has embarked on several reforms and unveiled impactful projects aimed at generating 30 gigawatts of electricity by 2030, with renewable energy contributing 30% of the energy mix. Delivering the energy transition plan, the president said, requires $1.9 trillion spending up to 2060, which translates to $10 billion per annum. He therefore made a case for Nigeria to be included in the G7 Climate Partnership list for the co-creation of just energy transition. President Buhari also seeks the support of the United States for Nigeria's full participation in the global carbon market, as well as developing innovative business models and integrating renewables efficiently into the national grid. From Washington, D.C., Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari says Nigerian youths are his promise for a better future and solving their problems remains his administration's top priority. This was while exchanging views with a delegation from the Abu Dhabi Foundation led by its Secretary General Sheikh Al Mahfoud bin Baya. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo again has the report.
The delegation from the Abu Dhabi Foundation had come to formally invite President Muhammadu Buhari to attend the conferment upon him his prestigious award in recognition of his outstanding achievements in promoting peace and security. The conferment is in line with the foundation's work in fighting religious extremism and promoting peaceful coexistence and dialogue amongst all religions, as explained by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu.
Coming at a time when two things are happening simultaneously. One is that there is a downward trend in terrorism, in banditry, in kidnapping, farmer-herder clashes. In our country, things are coming down. And also generally, there is increasing activity by the government of Nigeria to stabilize the entire West Africa.
President Buhari said the commitment of the foundation in promoting multi-faith dialogue is as important to the world as it is to Nigeria. He spoke about the need to raise generations of youth devoid of religious extremism and bigotry, urging the group to continue to target the young people who are the promise of the future.
The President is emphatic that all of these things that are going on, the efforts to stabilize the country and also create peace in neighboring countries, it is for the future of our young people who must be given a future that is free of intolerance, one rich in accommodation, full of brotherliness.
President Buhari's engagements in Washington, D.C. continue. Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
It was a moment of glitz, grandeur, and glory as thousands converged on the arcade ground Okemoson Abeokuta for the 2022 Ogun State Christmas Carol and service of 9 lessons. Lekon Agbonde reports that the event was a reflective of good tidings of God's love to mankind as Ogun State Governor Dapo Abiodun read the 9th lesson of the carol. Details will come in a subsequent bulletin. The role of the media towards a sustainable democracy in Nigeria is critical and vital for the development of the country, especially as the 2023 general elections is fast approaching. The Senior Special Assistant on the Vice President on Media and Communications, Laulu Akonde, stated this at the official opening ceremony of 2022 Press Week by Nigeria Association of Women Journalists, Ogun State Chapter. Hakim Jimo's report is here presented.
Speaking on the theme towards a sustainable democracy in Nigeria, media role and agenda, the Senior Special Assistant to the Vice President on Media and Communications, Laulu Akonde, who delivered his lecture via Zoom, identified fundamental principles of the media to include fairness, accuracy, and balance to make the media maintain its vital place as the fourth estate of the realm in the society, while advocating better pay pact for journalists by their proprietors to enable them perform their duties as the societal watchdog, especially as the 2023 general election is fast approaching. Mr. Akonde decried the negative impact of the social media, which he said posed danger to the profession, calling on journalists to shun all forms of sensationalism.
The media should be dominated and inspired by public spirit. Number 2, the media should be a place of clarity, understanding, and not just sensation. The credibility of the media ought not to be negotiated. It's something that the media cannot do without.
The chairperson award, Ogun State Chapter, Mudukwala Shobukonla, and others say the theme of the lecture is apt, especially during electioneering process.
And while we are analyzing, we should be careful injecting our own opinion. We should be careful of things that we will say that will divide the society.
If we can push more positives out to overtake, if I must use that word, the negatives, I'm sure we'll catch on better.
Earlier, the chapter organized health talk, free medical screening and consultation for the general public at the Iweri Multipurpose Hall, Okelewo, Abeokuta.
Alhaja Saidia Kudiratulahi Ajoke Abiodun Famuditimi has been turbaned as a Yasuna Tijaniya of Yoruba land, Edo and Delta. Anthony Gardner has details of the ceremony held in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital.
Speaking at the turbaning ceremony attended by Islamic scholars and Tijaniyat faithful from across southwestern states, Edo and Delta, the Olori Adini of Egbaland and founder and spiritual leader of Zulfat International, Sheikh Salisu Alao Adenekon, said the installation of Alhaja Seidat Kudiratulahi Famuditimi as the first Yasuno Tijaniyat of Yoruba land, Edo and Delta was to further commit women to promoting Islamic propagation.
To have someone as Yasuna of Yoruba land to be turban, it will entice all women to do good.
It must be a practicing Muslim and practicing Tijaniya. So we folks, she's a title. She qualified for it.
In his words of exhortation, Imam Ibrahim Ali challenged the new Iyasuna Tijaniyat to maintain the virtues and qualities identified in her by the leadership of Tijaniyat faith before bestowing the new title on her. As well, do more.
We should try to be good. We should change our way of living our lives in order to make Nigeria a great country.
The new Iyasuna and her husband appreciate Allah for making the day a reality, with a promise to justify the confidence reposed in her in giving her the title.
I'm glad to Allah that it happened the way it happened. I'm very grateful to Allah and everybody that comes here today. I appreciate them and I welcome everybody.
One thing I know that Sheikhs has deemed it necessary that I deserve this position.
High point of the ceremony include the presentation of certificates and letter of appointment to the new Iyasuna Tijaniyat of Yorubaland, Edo and Delta. In Abeokuta, Anthony Gondomi, NTA News.
That is all for today's edition. Join us again on Friday for another edition. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.